Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. We're looking at the moon transiting Gemini to Cancer, Monday, August 18th. Highlights the awareness and deliberate use of social etiquette and strategic moves, especially concerning business negotiations, family dynamics, or romantic courtship, as the moon forms a minor grand trine aspect pattern with Chiron in Aries and the Sun in Leo, and a T-square aspect pattern with Mars in Libra and Saturn conjunct Neptune, both retrograde in Aries. Everyone today will be focused on how they are presenting themselves, and an unfulfilled need or long-range goal is the hidden motivation behind the increase of communication and social interaction, due to a mystic rectangle aspect pattern involving Mercury in Leo, Mars in Libra, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius. You may feel casual and detached with a touch of curiosity and excitement in the early half of your day as the moon completes its transit through the mutable air sign of Gemini. But when the moon enters the cardinal water sign of Cancer this afternoon, feelings turn deeper, and the desire for attainment, satisfaction, and security in your finances and relationships becomes a priority, as the Cancer moon creates a resonance with the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter in Cancer, which square both Mars and Chiron, but are trine to Saturn and Neptune. If you have thoughts or plans you wish to present or propose to others, choose the first half of the day to do so, while minds are more open and people are more flexible. If you look good, sound good, and follow the rules of social etiquette, you may convince someone of something which will bring you and them an increase in wealth or happiness. Competition could be around you, but focusing too much on them will distract you from your goal and the work of putting your best self forward. It is not always the best who wins, but the most polite, persistent, and persuasive. So here we can see the moon in the minor grand trine with Chiron and the Sun. And this does give you the extra oomph that you need to reach out and actually follow through on your feelings. And it kind of gives you the feeling in advance that you just might win. You just might get lucky. But there's a big if associated with it because of the moon being in that mutable air sign. But like the expression says, you won't know if you don't try. So it is a question of you and the motivation that you're putting into it and the follow through. We've got so many different aspect patterns still present in the sky, particularly where you can see that we're losing the castle that we had, where part of the roof is off now, but we've still got a grand trine, we've got a kite, we've got a mystic rectangle, we have a T-square in here, two T-squares, no, one. The other one is slightly opened up at the end. There's a lot of motion going on in terms of motivation and intentions. And some of it may be fueled by some anxiety or fear that you won't get what you desire. But we do have so many favorable aspects that are very dynamic and saying, go ahead and try. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. But we're moving more into a season of relating and thinking about how we go about relating. And today's moon in Gemini can give you a little bit of a taste of that, where you become more aware of how you are presenting to others, what you are saying, how you compose yourself. So it's not just about the physical impression, but words are important, particularly because of Mercury's interaction with the opposition to Pluto, with the trine to Saturn and Neptune, with the sextile to Mars, and the fact that they are all connecting with each other through that mystic rectangle, which does contain the oppositions and puts them to work in a favorable way. Um, where there's a will, there's a way, is basically what that is saying. Your appearance will factor into things because we do have that Leo and Aries energy prominent today. Your deeper desires are possibly going to become more visible to others, and you may want to work on that if you do not want them to be seen or known. But if you do, then go right ahead. That's the square that Mars is creating with Venus and Jupiter and the moon. Sometimes people are flattered by seeing strong motivation and intention, and sometimes people are not. It really depends upon who's receiving the energy. And if there's mutual exchange of energy, then things would work out well for you. If not, and things fall apart, then perhaps consider that it fell apart for a reason, and that business deal didn't go through, or that relationship didn't happen because it was not going to be in the highest and best interests for everybody involved. And that might be something that you have to look at and acknowledge, because we do have Chiron in that square to Venus and Jupiter and squaring Pluto. So you may get what you desire, or you may not, but you will not find out unless you try. Make the most of an interesting day and take care, stay safe. I'll be back again tomorrow.